Hello, this is Pastor Polson with a special and I think joyous message to our White Oak family. We're going to open up the church again for public worship services on a limited basis beginning Sunday, May 17th. That is 1 week after Mother's Day. On Wednesday of this past week, the deacons and I approved reopening White Oak Baptist Church for limited public services beginning Sunday, May 17th. Now, we plan to open the church back up in 4 phases, and each of those phases will last 4 weeks. So this plan will take us all the way through the summer, well into August. Now, I've just sent out an email to you that contains, in addition to a link to this message, it also contains a 5-page document that explains in some detail how we hope to go through this 4-phase process for reopening the church. It also provides some guiding principles we used in reopening. It's a basic outline of the plan. And also we've given you some safety and health precautions that we're going to implement, especially during the first phase of our reopening. Now let me emphasize right off the bat that no member of White Oak and no regular attender at White Oak should feel guilty or compelled to attend any public service during the coronavirus crisis. Now, this is true especially of those of us who are in high-risk categories. We will continue to record the Sunday messages and the Wednesday night messages and post them to YouTube as we have done in the past weeks. We're also going to distribute them through the mail, via CD, and we're going to do our best to maintain close contact with all of you by telephone, by email, by all means possible. Now, I know my flock pretty well. I know how faithful you are in attending church, and I know how much we all long to see each other. But please, do not feel guilty about staying at home if you have any qualms or concerns about attending a public service. We want you to be safe. This whole thing did not take the Lord by surprise. He knows this, and he understands. And believe me, no one will look down upon you if you choose to worship at home until the coronavirus crisis has passed. Now, I'm pretty sure as we go along through this process that may cover 4 months, that we're going to make some mistakes. We're going to have to come back and redo some things. But by the same token, we're going to have some wondrous, joyous surprises. We're going to have some setbacks. I think the Holy Spirit's going to use this process to teach us what he would have for us and also to manifest in us the gifts of his Spirit, one of which is the gift of peace. We want to do this in a peaceful way and one that brings a sense of serenity and security to our flock. Now, I alluded to some governing principles, and I wanted to walk through those with you as part of this announcement before I talk about what's going to happen on Sunday. Our priority is the safety and health of our congregation and staff. We put your safety and health up front as being paramount in our thinking. Let me also say we're going to adhere to the federal, state, and city guidelines for opening our facilities for public services. We're going to maintain social distancing. This is going to affect how we sit in the auditorium. Where we sit in the auditorium is going to affect a variety of things. We will adhere to the city's ordinances. I believe this is a public testimony to our city that we are willing to abide by their strictures, and we're going to do so in a way that does not bring reproach upon the gospel. We will consult with medical professionals regarding safety protocols as necessary. We're going to do our best as a church to stay informed about COVID-19, what the trends are in our city, our state, our county. Let me say also, initially, we will meet for Sunday morning worship services only. Sunday school, prayer meeting, WMU, and all other White Oak ministry functions will be phased in later this summer. So, for phase 1, which covers May 17th and the following 3 Sundays, the only service we're going to have during that week is a Sunday morning, 10:30 worship service here in the auditorium. So for the first 4 weeks, the only service we have that's a public service will be Sunday morning, 10:30 here in the church sanctuary. So as I said, we're going to roll this out in 4 phases. I'm not going to take the time on this video to walk through all those 4 phases. As I said, we've attached a document that goes through each of them. But let me just give you a thumbnail sketch of this. Phase 1 covers the first 4 weeks. That's May 17th, May 24th, May 31st, and June 7th. And as I've said, and it bears repeating, during those 4 weeks, the only service that we will hold at White Oak is the 10:30 Sunday morning worship service. Let me also point out that our daycare and kindergarten will open on Monday, May 11th. After those 4 weeks, and depending upon what happens during those 4 weeks, we'll move on to phase 2. And phase 2 basically is we will be reinstating our Sunday school during phase 2. And those are the weeks of June 14th, June 21st, June 28th, and July 5th. Now please, we do not have details about how Sunday school is going to work during phase 2. Those will be sent to you. It's almost certain that we're not going to be meeting in our small Sunday school classes. We may have larger Sunday school groups. We may spread out around the church. That will be sent to you later on. But the main element of phase 2 is the implementation of Sunday school. Phase 3 is the time in which we will reinstate our public prayer meetings, probably both prayer meetings on Wednesday morning and Wednesday evening. Phase 3 is July 12th, July 19th, July 26th, and August 2nd. Those are the Sundays of phase 3. And again, the key element of phase 3 is the reinstatement of our public prayer meetings. The last phase, phase 4, Lord willing, all our regular services and ministry activities will be reinstated during phase 4. The Sunday evening service may be reinstated during phase 4, but it's possible that we may consider another approach to the evening service as we move forward. But one of the key elements of phase 4 is the reinstatement of some type of Sunday evening service. And our ministries such as WMU, the collegiate ministry, the nursery, all other ministries, we hope, by God's grace, will be open during phase 4. And the Sundays of phase 4 are August 9th, August 16th, August 23rd, and August 30th. So, it's our goal, the Lord willing, COVID-19 willing, so to speak, that we can be back to some semblance of normalcy in terms of church services by the end of August. Now, what's phase 1 going to look like initially? I'm not going to take a lot of time to go through this, but I just want you to know the kinds of things we're doing. First of all, we encourage those who are at risk based on the standards by the Center for Disease Control to consider staying at home, not attending services until it's safe to do so. Again, we're encouraging, we can't demand it, nor would we demand it. We also encourage parents to use good judgment about bringing your children to public services. Our nursery facility will almost certainly be closed all through the summer. Let me talk about entrances getting into the building for the service on May 17th and the following 3 weeks. We've designated the entrances to the main auditorium, which are the ones that face Wade Hampton Boulevard, as the primary means for coming into the building. Those doors will be propped open. You can simply come up the steps, come in the back, and find yourself a seat. We will also have access through the lower entrance by the portico. However, we request that only those who need to use the elevator to access the sanctuary use that lower entrance. We'd much prefer everyone else come in the front. Now, what about seating? Where are you going to sit? Well, we're going to basically rope off every other pew in the sanctuary. In addition, we're going to establish designated sitting areas within those pews. We encourage families, of course, to sit together. Everyone else, we encourage to sit at least 6 feet apart and observe all the social distancing regulations that are in place right now. We will practice the medically prescribed social distancing protocols during the worship service, and that means no physical contact, no handshakes, I hate that, no hugs, I hate that too, not even fist bumps. We're going to forego, obviously, our normal greeting time during that service. We may actually dismiss the service row by row to avoid congestion in the aisles and doorways. And of course, fellowship can continue outside, before or after you enter here, but once you're inside, we have to practice the normal social distancing. We would encourage everyone who attends to wear a mask, some type of medical mask or a face covering. Concerning offerings, we're putting 3 locked offering boxes in the sanctuary. You simply drop your offering in one of those boxes. It's locked. We'll count that as part of our normal teller process. We will not be passing around the plates. We probably won't have the choir sit up in the loft as it normally does, but we may have some choir numbers with people sitting out in the approved areas. We will seek to have normal congregational singing and, of course, the preaching of the word. We are going to do some things that may seem a little strange, but I think it's what I'm finding in terms of protocols across the country and in our own South Carolina Baptist Association and Convention, and also the Greenville Baptist Association. Things like temporarily removing the pew Bibles and the hymnals from the pew racks. We don't know yet about bulletins. We may print bulletins, but if we do, we will put them on the seats so that you can pick them up and take them with you. We'll do most of our announcements on the screen as we typically have before. We're going to have hand sanitizers at all the entrances to the sanctuary so people can feel comfortable in that way. We will clean the sanctuary thoroughly, disinfect it thoroughly before and between every service that we have. So, May 17th, Sunday morning, 10:30, we hope that many of you can join us for our first public service here in the sanctuary of White Oak Baptist Church. If you cannot come, we understand fully and support your decision. No one should feel in any way compelled to attend any of these services. We're all working through this as best we can. So pray much for the process. Please understand that this is all tentative. We will need to adapt as the virus changes and as our leaders guide us. The Lord is in control of this and all things, and the Lord is good. So once again, this is a video announcement that corresponds to an email that I sent out. The email has an attachment of a 5-page document that outlines our process moving forward throughout the summer to reopen White Oak Baptist Church for public services. And at the risk of redundancy, our first public service is May 17th, 10:30, in this auditorium, the sanctuary of White Oak Baptist Church, and that will be the case for the following 3 Sundays. So for 4 weeks, our only service through the week is the Sunday morning service. We've done our best to prepare the building, to prepare you, and prepare ourselves for this really glorious reunion that we hope can take place. God bless you all, and if you have any questions, please feel free to call me, call the church. We'll do anything we can to answer any questions or concerns that you might have. God bless you all, and I hope to see many of you on May 17th here in this building, White Oak Baptist Church Sanctuary. Have a good day.